This is a Reforged reaction, and in this video, I'm going to be giving you my reaction to the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. We won't be showing it. Movie trailers can be a little funny to react to, especially Nintendo stuff, but by now everybody's seen it anyway. You've probably seen the trailer. If you haven't, maybe go watch it before listening to this. You're going to want to re-watch it after one of the things I tell you, because Mario's voice is getting some criticism, and I figured out who he sounds like. So if you like these reactions, be sure to check out my other reactions and check out Reforged Gaming. That is where I stream live on a regular basis. So there's a lot of good actually in this. As a longtime fan of Mario, growing up with Mario, the first system in our house after the Coleco was a Nintendo, I was thrilled with what it looked like. It felt very faithful to the Mario games that I have played. The setting was awesome. The music, the graphics, just the sound design. It made for a good trailer. I was very, very pleased with that. Very excited, and I think the character design is phenomenal. If you look at Bowser especially, he seems to be sort of stealing the show. But you look at some of the other screenshots and things. Peach. Everyone's very pleased with the character design. There is some criticism and some current concern about what Mario looks like. It's not that bad. I think people maybe are overstating it. There were some angles in some press and some advertisements that looked a little funny, but overwhelmingly, I think they've gotten the characters exactly right. I think there is some good comedy as well. The penguin sort of throwing the snowballs at Bowser and it basically doing nothing. I thought that was very well done, and even the voices there. The voices for all the characters are just excellent. Bowser laughing somehow looks like Jack Black. I think they've done a really cool job sort of putting those pieces in there to let Bowser channel Jack Black, even though he doesn't really sound like Jack Black. You can kind of sense it, but you kind of can't. I think that's a credit to some of the voice work that Jack Black has kind of done over the years. I think he does a very, very good job when he does voices. The music transitions, though, and suddenly you hear like the classic, do-do-do-do-do-do, and then Mario is thrown into something. And as soon as that happens, his voice just immediately feels out of place. He hits this thing, you hear him kind of groan, and it doesn't feel right. It's instantly off-putting. There's a dissonance. It doesn't fit with everything you've seen up to this point. So apparently it's a Mario origin story, because he says, like, what is this place? And when he says, what is this place, you're almost struck by it, because it doesn't sound like Mario, and the other characters sound like their characters. They sound like what they look like. Like Bowser sounds obviously not like the traditional raw, but I mean, it sounds like what you would sort of expect Bowser to sound like. And Toad shows up, and I think Toad's awesome. Like, Toad is perfect. Toad's funny. His voice kind of sounds the way that Toad looks. And then all of a sudden, Mario says, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. And you can slightly sense and hear an accent, but it doesn't quite work. When he says, what is this place, there's almost no accent at all, and you need to go rewatch it. It dawned on me all of a sudden. I was like, what does that voice sound like? I rewatched it a couple of times. When he says, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come, he sounds like Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story. If you've seen that movie, you know what that guy sounds like. You know he kind of has this irritated sort of accent. He sounds like that. Like, it doesn't actually sound like Mario. It doesn't sound very good. And even prior to that, it just kind of sounds like Chris Pratt. I don't have anything against Chris Pratt, but if you were going to put somebody in charge of channeling Mario, he doesn't need to run around and be like, it's me, Mario. Like, that would be a little too much, but you also need to find a middle ground in between the very exaggerated sort of high-pitched Mario and what we're getting from Pratt. And I don't feel like we're landing in the middle. Just like Bowser doesn't sound like Jack Black, but he also doesn't sound like a growling dinosaur. He kind of is landing in the middle. So I want to read through a Game Revolution article about this, because there has been pretty, negative responses. There's been some funny tweets. I'll read those to you as well. Here they say the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer dropped today, October the 6th, and fans wasted no time in reacting to the accent, or lack of, that Chris Pratt has adopted to take on the role of the titular Koopa stomping plumber. That is such a weird choice of words there. While some enjoyed Jack Black's take on the villainous Bowser, yes, he seems to be stealing the show, Brad's performance left a lot to be desired. Here's what those taking to Twitter have said about the teaser reveal thoughts. So, like, basically what's happening is everyone's zeroing in on Chris Pratt, which is unfortunate because it's Super Mario Brothers. Like, Mario is sort of the central figure, and right here we have introspective saying, wait, it's just Chris Pratt's normal voice, Lumfao. Down here, oh, other than Chris Pratt's voice sounding weird, it was okay. And then, I'm gonna be honest, the more I look at it, the more I do not like Mario's design. His face just looks weird. I get that it's a departure from the design we've seen for the past 25 years, but I don't know. It just looks so ugly. Now, that I don't necessarily agree with. I think that his design is not that bad. I think the standout aspect of it is the voice. And here we see many wondered if Chris Pratt would be adopting an Italian accent for his turn as Super Mario, but it appears that he is simply going with his natural voice to play the video game character. Again, he says, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come. Like, you can see there is a bit of an accent when he says that, but it's very subtle. And before, when he says, what is this place, it just sounds like Chris Pratt talking. Apparently, Chris Pratt has saying it's been a lifelong dream to take on this role. You would be forgiven for expecting something a little more in line with the Nintendo icon's origin from the actor. And then down here, though the animation style is stunning, with many of the characters looking as though they had been ripped straight from one of your favorite Nintendo consoles. Agreed with that. They do. They look great. The Mario design is perhaps the furthest deviation from the man we've all grown accustomed to. That is where I will give some credence to what people are saying. Nobody else seems like a big departure, but they made Mario look different. Like, everybody else sort of looks like their character right out of the video game. I think Bowser especially is where people are going to point to and say, you literally just made him look like Bowser right from the video games. Like, why did you have to make Mario look different? Some other notable tweets that I thought were pretty funny from Mika Burton. Okay, the animation for the Mario movie looks gorgeous, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the plot of this is, but good lord, I cannot get past the fact that Chris Pratt is just using his normal ass voice, just his normal ass voice for Mario. They said it twice in all caps. Kino Fabino said, you can hear Mario just by looking at him, knowing what Mario sounds like, anticipating him to speak, and just hearing a normal guy is unnerving. I actually don't know if that's not really a funny tweet. I think that's a very observant tweet. Like, you know what Mario is supposed to sound like. You kind of look at him and you expect that. It needs to be reminiscent of that. I didn't expect them to have him running around going like whoop 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 and like sounding like that. But he needs to like emulate that a little bit. Everyday Louie said everything in the Mario trailer works except for Mario. And then It's Zay OK says, Mario's supposed to be Italian. Why are they saying this Mario from North Dakota? That's pretty good. That was pretty good. The memes are almost worth it. I think so. I think the memes are worth it. The funny thing about this is, I don't think it's going to hurt the movie. I don't. I think it's literally going to make the movie from here to its release. It will be viral. Everybody will be making fun of it, making jokes. The animated GIFs are hilarious. The memes are absolutely hysterical. If you haven't browsed Twitter yet, you need to. You absolutely need to. One of the tweets I clicked on, I bust out laughing because there was like this picture. The Fambino guy. A Fambino guy had a picture of Chris Pratt looking really, really serious, and it's like black and white, and it says, "Hi everybody, bing bing wahoo," and it just, it's that. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Bing bing wahoo. Anyway, I actually think this is going to make the movie more popular. I do. I actually do. I think people are going to praise it and say it's awesome and it's great, and they'll be super critical of Pratt's voice, which this is the type of press that can work in your favor. If the movie looked terrible, if the graphics were awful, if the sound and the soundtrack, the music was great, if any of that was bad, then, you know, Chris Pratt would sort of be the wrecking ball that just toppled the wobbling house to the ground. But everything is so good, I actually think This is going to be some weird twist of fate. This isn't going to be like Ugly Sonic. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be like the Ugly Sonic situation where they make Pratt go back and re-record everything or hire somebody else. I think this is absolutely going to work in their favor because people are going to love making fun of this, memeing it, and joking about it, and they're going to go see it. Right now, I guarantee you there are people that are like, they're mad, they're like, I'm not going to see it. People are going to go see this movie, okay? They're going to take their kids to see this movie in droves because it's animated and it's Mario. It is the most globally recognized icon of video game, probably only outdone maybe by Pac-Man or Mrs. Pac-Man. So this thing's going to do just fine. I'm very pleased with everything. And you know what, honestly, I'll probably be able to get over Mario's voice because it's just probably going to be a pretty fun movie that will be funny. They're already showing that the movie's going to have pretty good comedic chops. The snowball throwing was great, and Toad, I already know I'm going to think Toad's pretty funny, comedic relief sidekick sort of to Mario, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I know my kids are probably going to love this one. So I think people are being a little hyperbolic and overreacting. It is bad, but it's not Ugly Sonic bad. So if you like this reaction, check out my other reactions. Check out Reforge Gaming if you want to watch me live stream. It's a great way to interact with me live. So hit subscribe and the bell button on this channel, and I'll see you in the next Reforge reaction.